We're going to take a look at mixing a song from start to finish and then mastering that song on some really great high-end mastering equipment. When you're sending me your song for mixing, uh, most of the time I can take your session file if you're using Logic, Pro Tools, Ableton Live, Studio One. I have an awful lot of plugins as well as a pretty nice UAD system. So a lot of times it works out. In this particular case, it did not work out. So I had the artists send me all the files as audio, which you can see here in this 73 audio tracks. The song is For Love by Emwell and Bianco. They're from, I believe it is Maxwell Harler is from Cincinnati and Nick Bianco is from Pittsburgh. So these are two college students and they made a pop song and we're going to mix it and master it here today. So let's give this a listen to as it is right now, untouched. This is my mixing template. I cut out the channels that I wasn't using, but normally it's this entire red to purple section here duplicated. This is all stereo tracks, so all of these stems came as stereo. So I placed them in stereo tracks, which already have bussing and some effects on it, but it's all pretty much at 0. So this should be really close to their original mix.
Who'd have thought you needed me? 'Cause you had me hooked since we were 16. Good as gold and faithfully. Yeah. Now I can't believe that as you're falling asleep, you're next to me and move with the rhythm I breathe. I can't.
Really cool tune. It has a lot of potential, but it definitely needs some help when it comes to mixing. So the first thing I'll do when I get a session is I will get the tempo of the tune to the tempo of the grid of the DAW. And usually I'm using Pro Tools, so in this case it's Pro Tools, which we're in luck because with Pro Tools you can use a very cool feature called tab to transients, which I use all the time, which allows you, when you have this button clicked, to hit the tab button to sort of jump around to different transient hits of the track. So if I can just do an example of that, I'm getting slip mode here. See the cursor blinking down there? If I hit tab, it jumps to each hit. So very cool, very useful for editing. So I'm just going to add a click track and we'll listen to that so we can line it up. I believe it's muted. Again. So this is quite obviously 2. So if I do Command I on a Mac and I just hit 2, if you watch the grid up top, the line here will move to this. Bang. It's a very fast way. Now here's where the kick comes in. I'm going to do the same thing, Command I, and that should be on exactly 9. And then we'll just sort of spot check it to the end here. And this one should be on exactly 41. And this one, 77. And that one's perfect. Okay, cool. So now we have this song to the grid. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And we are going to for now, hide the vocals. And what I'm going to do is switch to monitoring off of my mastering rig. So I'm actually monitoring through my mastering setup. You're not hearing that exact output, but it's the same mix. I'm just hearing it with the Burl ADC and the SPL iron on very gently. That gives me a better idea when I'm mixing what it's going to sound like in the final stages of mastering, and it's really turned out amazing for the songs I've done that on the past few weeks. So right now we've taken away all of the vocals, and I'm just going to try to clean up the instrument parts as well as I can, as fast as I can, so we can start messing with the vocals. All right, so let's save that, and I am going to hide pretty much all this right now, and we'll bring back just the vocals, and we'll just really zone on vocals right now. Show and make active. So I left the other tracks active, but I just hid them, and my buses are still here, so I can sort of mix stuff up and down if I need to while just having the vocals on my screen. So this is sort of a lot of stuff as well. Let's see what we got. So what's this? I'm going to build a double. So this is the verse. I'm going to duplicate this track, and we're going to do a stereo spread trick here. So let's see this, and we're just going to move it. We're going to create a left and a right panning stereo spread by panning the top to the left and the bottom to the right. And we are going to go in a little further here. Zoom in. Maybe see a little more of what I'm working with. And then I want to move this guy a little bit this way, and this guy a little bit this way to create sort of a stereo spread. Let's hear what that sounds like.
You, who'd thought you needed me?
Sometimes I do it by ear.
'Cause you had me hooked since we were 16.
Sounds pretty cool.
Good as gold and faithfully. Rhythm I breathe, I can't believe that.
Sort of not perfect. So what I'm going to do on these two tracks is line them up. I'm going to essentially be sort of warping the vocals together.
I can't believe that. As you're falling asleep, I can't believe that. As
Go in here. Word.
I can't believe that. As you're falling asleep, you are just so I know it's beating for love.
Cool with that.
I know it's beating for love.
Since we're doing this track, there's one for sure that can be fixed. It just sounds sloppy when you're hitting, final compressors and things. It really pops out. All right, so what I'm going to do now, do that. I'm going to create a VCA track for everything. But the drums. Call it not drums.
Good as gold and faithfully.
Nice.
And I can't believe that as you're falling asleep, you're next to me and move with the rhythm. I breathe. I can't believe that as you're falling asleep, you're next to me and move with the rhythm. I breathe in.
So I'd say that's about a wrap. We're going to save that. So going to go ahead and master this song. This is the mix I was working on. And I ended up running a second mix after a little bit. Came back and listened and just wanted to make a few adjustments. Nothing real big. So I am sending this out of my computer. And it is going into my mastering rig. And what I have on this particular track so far is the Maselec multiband compressor MLA4. And next is the massive passive, where I'm doing a bit of filtering and a boost in the mid highs, a little in the high and a little in the low. And that goes into the iron, followed by the Burl analog to digital converter coming back in on the metric halo ULN8 digital converter with soft saturation on and limiting on. So pretty outstanding array of signal that this is going through here. I've got it pretty well to the point where I'm happy. I'm just gonna see if I need to make any adjustments. Coming in around -9 lofts currently. Let's take a listen.
Now I can't believe that as you're falling asleep, you're next to me.
So if I print a little bit of that, let's just see what that looks like.
Now I can't believe that as you're falling
Looks
asleep,
pretty healthy.
you're next to me and move with the rhythm. I breathe. I can't believe that as you're falling asleep,
I just don't know if I want it to be more bassy. Actually, let's print it. Let's print that.
can't believe that. As you're falling asleep, you are, you're next to me. And move with the rhythm. I breathe in, and when the beat in my chest picks up, I know it's beating for love. I know it's beating for love. When the beat in my chest picks up, I know it's beating for love. Somehow I knew that we'd go far. Somehow when you had us dancing out in the yard, just heard the words that came from my heart. Now I can't believe that. As you're falling asleep, you're next to me and move with the rhythm. I breathe. I can't believe that. As you're falling asleep, you're next to me and move with the rhythm. I breathe in. I breathe in. When the beat in my chest picks up, I know it's beating for love. Yeah, I know it's beating for love. When the beat in my chest picks up, I know it's beating for love. Keeping you up off them all didn't take too long to fall. I long for your lips on mine when I'm too long away from your door. It's been a good ride. We're keeping good time.